Want to take your business to the next level while supporting Warrior Athletics? Become a proud sponsor of CHCA Athletics today. To learn more about sponsorship opportunities, reach out to our athletic director, Adam Thomas, or Katie West. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action, support our athletes, and promote your brand. Contact us today. Want to stay connected with Cottage Hill Christian Academy? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Get the latest updates, news, and highlights from our school community right at your fingertips. Want to stay in the game with all things Warrior Athletics? Make sure you're in the know by following our official athletic accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and X. You can also visit us online at chcaathletics.com. At Cottage Hill Christian Academy, our athletes strive for excellence, and behind them is the Warrior Club, an organization dedicated to making their success possible. The Warrior Club provides essential financial and auxiliary support to our athletic programs while promoting Christian character through sportsmanship, fair play, and the recognition of every player's and coach's accomplishments. Join the Warrior Club today and support our incredible student athletes. At Cottage Hill Christian Academy, we provide a Christ-centered education that prepares students for excellence as lifelong disciples. It is through the Cottage Hill tradition we cultivate authentic relationships and community. We prayerfully partner with families to develop tomorrow's servant leaders today. Find out more about the Warrior Way by visiting chcacademy.com. Want to take your business to the next level while supporting Warrior Athletics? Become a proud sponsor of CHCA Athletics today. To learn more about sponsorship opportunities, reach out to our athletic director, Adam Thomas, or Katie West. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action, support our athletes, and promote your brand. Contact us today. Want to stay connected with Cottage Hill Christian Academy? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Get the latest updates, news.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 3 of high school football and home of CHCA Athletics on the Warrior Way Sports Network, and your home for CHCA away Friday night high school football games. Well, we're live from Evergreen, Alabama, home of the Hillcrest Evergreen Jaguars, and we are about 23 and a half minutes away from your CHCA Warriors in this first 3A Region 1 contest and what promises to be an exciting matchup. I'm Chris Brazil, joined by color commentator Mr. Chad Anderson, and our very own communications director, Miss Katie West, is on the board and behind the scenes, and it's great to have you all tuning in with us for Warrior football on this Friday evening. We also had the pleasure of having our West Campus director, Miss Jennifer Newton, with us. I would call it a studio, but it's a 10 by 10 tent, and the rain is starting to fall here in Evergreen as the sun sets to the west. We're getting a little drizzle, wind's picking up, but what I would have to say, there's no other place I'd rather be this evening, Mr. Chad Anderson. I know you can't wait until 2 weeks before you're in that warm, cozy, new renovated booth at Charles V. Lang Stadium with your partner in crime, Brad Newton, to get to call a home game. But that's 2 weeks away, Chad, and tonight, set the stage for us as we're in Evergreen, Alabama.
Yeah, Chris, again, nowhere else you'd rather be. Small town, Friday night, getting ready for this game. Rain coming down sideways. We have an improvised quote studio, as you said eloquently, 10 by 10 tent right on top of our heads. Honestly, could not think of anything I'd rather do on a Friday night than this right here.
Well, we had a good trip up. I-65 North did not take us long to get up here as the wind kicks up a little bit and the rain starts to blow a little bit harder, and our tent is about to blow away. But Chad, we got a good meal this evening. We always like to talk about that. Tell the listeners where we stopped this evening to get a pregame meal before getting rained on right now with 21 minutes and 45 seconds before kickoff.
Well, anytime you go to Evergreen, which is located in Conecuh County, get off at exit 96, and there is a Conecuh restaurant. And when I say restaurant, I mean they literally just serve the sausage on a artisan bun that was a little bit on the short side, but man, it was so good. We stopped in and ate, saw some cheerleaders from South Choctaw. It was really a high school Friday night feel.
Yeah, I was real disappointed in Chad Anderson getting that Conecuh dog plain. I think you got one little packet of mayonnaise. You got to get the kraut, you got to get the spicy mustard, and you got to go with the Cajun Conecuh dog, as I did. But as we look forward to tonight's contest, 21 minutes away from kickoff, every Friday night, both teams come in with a lot on the line and try to go 1-0. And with a win tonight, we would be 1-0 in 3A Region 1. Our Warriors are looking to start the year 3-0 for the first time since 2019. And that's the first time in 6 seasons. And Hillcrest Evergreen is coming in at 0-2 with losses to BC Rain down in Mobile and Andalusia. I can tell you this, the Jaguars are way better than that 0-2 record, playing up in classification against the Andalusia Bulldogs and the Red Raiders. We just had the opportunity to see them pregame here, and the Jaguars look good and look very athletic. So let's talk real quick about the home team for a second, the Hillcrest Evergreen Jaguars. Justin Nerrid enters his 3rd season as head coach for Hillcrest. Then the Jaguars are coming off an 8-3 season in 2024, in which they defeated our Cottage Hill Christian Academy Warriors in West Mobile 35-6. Hillcrest was defeated by Southside Selma 36-35 a year ago and eliminated from the playoffs. And let me tell you something, Warriors, to put ourselves through this, to make sure that our equipment stays safe. Katie West is behind the scenes, making sure that MacBook. In our 8 meetings, Hillcrest holds the edge, winning 7 of those contests. But the good news is the only time Cottage Hill won was when Bobby Parrish was the head coach in 2022, and we defeated the Jaguars 41-16. And guess who was the defensive coordinator? Our current head coach, Coach Jones. So we're 1-8 lifetime versus the Jags and Evergreen, but tonight, Chad, it just feels different.
Yeah, that's the good thing about high school football. I mean, obviously, we have really run into a wall playing against this program over the 9 times we've met, but this is a new team. We have a new team. They have a new team. Our team is hungry. Our team is a absolute competitor in Region 1 3A and looking to get out of here with the first 3-0 start in a long time, Chris.
Absolutely. So we're getting closer and closer to kick off. It looks like just over 18 minutes. But earlier today, I had the opportunity of catching up with senior Caden Wynn. Caden Wynn's doing a tremendous job in the back and what he had to say about this season. All right, I'm here with senior running back. 2 games, or the first 2 games of the season, 120 and a score at Satsuma. But Caden, tell us a little bit about the excitement around the football program right now being 2-0.
The excitement around the team is great right now. We're 2-0. We're just looking forward against Hillcrest this Friday to go 1-0 again, and we're just building the standard.
That's a great statement. I'm continuing to set that standard, and they have a standard, and I'm grateful for that. So yes, 1-0. We're 2-0 overall. We can be 1-0 in 3A Region 1. How big will it be for us to travel up to Hillcrest and get that region win tonight and go 1-0 in the region?
This win would be big for us. It means a lot because, as you know, we want to go to the playoffs and win area. So getting tonight would be a big steal for us, considering we lost to them many times.
Absolutely. 1-8 historically speaking against Hillcrest. Color commentator for the Warrior Way Sports Network has coined you the bus from Jerome Bettis, Notre Dame to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you even know who Jerome Bettis is?
Yes, sir. It's an honor to be named after him. But I know I'm a great runner, but I'm nothing without my O-line. So they handle all the business up front, and I handle the rest in the secondary.
That is a great remark there, Caden. That's senior leadership right there. Yes, our offensive line is doing a tremendous 28 carries, 279 total yards on the ground. That's almost 10 yards a carry. So, so talk a little bit more about that offensive line. They're opening up the holes. And go ahead and maybe tell us your favorite running play when Coach calls it, because you know you can get to the second level and make that contact with a linebacker to safety and just fall forward for a few more yards.
Yes, sir. I love it when I'm running behind Chase and AJ, and when we were in Baltimore with Wiggins leading, it's like right there in the gap. They're all leading for me, and I just follow the hole, and I just run as hard as I can.
So I'll imagine this evening we'll hear Baltimore called a little bit. Also in the backfield, we have the 4-star commit, Shadarius Tootle. Of course, he hasn't been getting as many carries because you've been getting the brunt of the load and so forth. But I think there might come a time where y'all both are just pounding on defenses and running power and running that spread power attack that we have with our offense. But I'm proud of you guys, 6 seniors on the team. But of course, as you said, the ultimate goal is playoffs. You've tipped your hat to that of the offensive line. But I guess too, how awesome is it lining up next to sophomore quarterback Shamar Tootle, and what's some things that you guys might be communicating with each and every Friday night during the play?
Being around Shamar is a blessing. He's an outstanding quarterback with great IQ for the game, and just being in the backfield with a brother, to me, like outside of the game, is just an undeniable connection back there in the backfield.
Well said, and also the weight room. Man, I'm telling you what, every Friday night when we pull up, we pass the eye test. So tell us about the preparation in the off season in the summer to get our guys to be physically fit. Even though we haven't had to play a 4-quarter game this year so far, this week might be the week that we have to play 4 quarters. So tell me a little bit about just overall physical conditioning of this football program?
Just the conditioning and the lifting in the weight room has gotten us bigger, stronger, and faster on the field and building up the stamina. So being out there, being able to play for, the 3 quarters that we've been playing recently, it's just been great. And we've been being able to move the ball, play defense, and hustle to the ball.
Well, I can't say enough. We enjoy watching you on Friday nights, and we enjoy watching you tote those guys at the second level, whether linebackers and, of course, guys in the secondary, and carrying them for another couple yards. But you're doing a tremendous job. Keep up the good work. We're pulling for you guys for a win. Any last comments before we get ready to kick this game off this evening?
Time to go 1-0 again.
Thank you, Caden. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, the Warriors have looked good, or should I say, looked great these first 2 games, and I think we can make more believers across the state of Alabama tonight with a big win up here in Hillcrest. That was senior Caden Wynn, who's had a phenomenal season thus far, 200 yards rushing in 2 games and a couple scores on the ground. We're 12 minutes and 45 seconds to go before kickoff. The rain has lightened up a little bit, but the winds have picked up just a little bit coming from the west right into our face there, Chad. But once again, this is an electric atmosphere as we look at about 50 members in the band who has already been playing during that timeout, getting this crowd going tonight. So once again, Chad, tell us a little bit about the atmosphere and your pick to click with that of Caden Wynn.
Yeah, so Caden is our workhorse. He's our battering ram running back. He's the one that if early in a game, the game is going back and forth, he can really kind of set a tone. Now, last week we didn't really need to do that. We had so many big plays in the first half and got up to such a big lead that we didn't really have the need to lean on them as heavy as we needed to. But this game could be different. It could be that we do need to establish him as a runner. Caden is not likely to take 180 yards, Chris, but it's those 6, 7, 8 yard pounding runs. His yards after contact have to be off the charts. He carries defenders, sometimes 3 at a time. So he's our muscle in the backfield.
At this time, we're going to go ahead and let you listen to the Jaguar Band as they play the national anthem, as we're 11 minutes and 30 seconds before kickoff this evening in the Hillcrest Evergreen. Well, that was the Jaguar Band and their rendition of the national anthem with under 10 minutes to go before kickoff. Coaches are starting to come out from both squads as well as the officials. But let's quickly, Chad, recap last Friday night. Caleb Metzner, who picked up 59 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, led the offense, and he'll be on his official visit this weekend at the University of South Alabama, even though he is already committed to South. And then, of course, Aaron Ward, who rushed for 66 yards and 1 score, and on the reverse on the opening play, took it to the house. Big play for the Cottage Hill Christian Academy Warriors to start out 6-0 on Satsuma. The sophomore quarterback, Shamar Tootle, went 15 for 20 for 161 yards, completing 75% of his passes, 10 yards per reception. 3 touchdowns. He did throw a couple of picks, but one of them we called a punt due to the fact that it was 3rd and long. And he has 6 total touchdowns on the year. But the Warriors are getting it done on the ground as well. 28 carries, 279 yards, 10 yards a pop, 3 rushing touchdowns last week. So the bottom line is, also, here's the key, Chad. Cottage Hill Christian Academy and those guys up front haven't given up a sack all year long, and they've gotten to the next level in the run game. In the run game specifically, 58 carries, 537 rushing yards for 9.3 yards per carry on average. And if you can run the daggone football, guess what? You're going to be successful on Friday nights. So recapping the offense in last week, what did you see from your perspective?
Well, it was big plays. So we ended up with 279 yards. Almost half of those came on 2 carries.
Yeah.
But the rest of the way, we're having averages of 6, 7, 8 yards a carry because we only had 28 carries to get the rest of those yards. So offensive line really doing a great job setting the edges, opening up the middle. You see Shamar when he drops back to pass. Chris not giving up a sack, but it's not like we're not dropping back to pass. Last week, Shamar Tootle got back in the pocket 20 times to pass and wasn't sacked. Now, he moves good, which is great, but it all starts with that protection up front.
Absolutely. So now let's shift our attention to the defense a little bit. When we start talking about the defense, of course, the Warriors are led by 4-star Georgia commit Shadarius Tootle, who was a nominee for the AL.com Cunningham Bounds Player of the Week with a pick when Satsuma was in the red zone and returned it 80-plus yards, setting up a Warrior touchdown. He also had a long rushing TD on offense for 60-plus yards. Chad, he's carried it twice this year, offensively speaking, and hit pay dirt both times. And I got a feeling tonight we might see him with a wet track and a little bit wet out here in this raining, that we'll see him carry the football a little bit more. But Nathan Sims and J.J. Davis did a tremendous job on the back end and limiting Satsuma to less than 45% completion percentage in the air. And Zycaz Thomas had another pick and performed well on special teams. The defense, Chad, is playing lights out, especially those front 4 led by seniors Caden Wiggins and Caleb Metzner to go along with A.J. Green and 8th grader Josh McCants in the middle there. And the majority of the points are coming on the reserves as we start to build a little bit of depth in the second half. And Chad, I'll be honest with you, I think this is going to be a 4-quarter game tonight, and we haven't played 4 quarters because we've had the running clock because of the big lead in the first half against Washington County and Satsuma. But, Chad, the number one key, the defense has forced 3 interceptions and recovered 3 fumbles. We have only threw 2 interceptions. That's a +4 ratio in the turnover margins, and we've only played 2 games. And when you do that, once again, that's that secret sauce of why we're 2-0, and we're going in this 3A Region 1 matchup facing Hillcrest tonight.
Yeah, and if you think about our secondary, how they get downhill and hit, they want all the smoke on those running backs. They will. Both of our safeties, they would rather play 5 yards off the ball. They would rather be right there in the box. They're hitters. Chris, there's a reason that those 4 guys represent us as captains tonight.
Absolutely. And speaking of the captains are walking out, as well as Hillcrest Evergreen is to that of our south, which is our left where we're stationed, in the inflatable football helmet with the face mask that breaks in half. There's a little smoke over there. I think that's designed, Chad. I'm not real sure, to give our audience a little bit of perception there, as we're about 5 minutes and 13 seconds before kickoff. But they have a spirit line, and that spirit line is stretched out with their flag cord and their dance team and some of their fans wearing the ponchos all the way out to midfield. And speaking of captains, our captains are those guys on the back end. So go ahead and tell our listeners who tonight's captains are for the Cottage Hill Christian Academy Warriors, who are wearing that white on white. They're still sparkling white with that navy helmet and that chrome and metallic gold and silver logos.
Yeah, so you have number 2, Zycaz Thomas, and number 3, J.J. Davis, number 11, Nate Sims, and number 12, Jaden Davis. And, this is really interesting to see an entire block of the defense.
Has elected to receive the opening kickoff. We're about 4 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm pretty sure that's the trek that we're going to keep. But what we would like to do is take a little time out so we can adjust our studio as the rain has stopped, but we still have that west wind blowing at about 15. We're going to adjust our studio here on the visitor sidelines, and we're going to take a quick time out.
At Cottage Hill Christian Academy, we provide a Christ-centered education that prepares students for excellence as lifelong disciples. It is through the Cottage Hill tradition we cultivate authentic relationships and community. We prayerfully partner with families to develop tomorrow's servant leaders today. Find out more about the Warrior Way by visiting chcacademy.com. Want to take your business to the next level while supporting Warrior Athletics? Become a proud sponsor of CHCA Athletics today. To learn more about sponsorship opportunities, reach out to our athletic director, Adam Thomas, or Katie West. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action, support our athletes, and promote your brand. Contact us today. And highlights from our school community right at your fingertips.
Well, welcome back to Evergreen, Alabama. We want to apologize as we was getting our tent down. They went ahead and approximately the 40-yard line. And now we are a few stops with runs up the middle. So motions to back out. Quarterback to the first down, bringing up at about 4th and 2 here with 10-18 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, Chris, we've talked about those secondary guys hitting. Nate Sims really holds his ground there, stops him short.
Well, this is definitely a punt-safe situation. I believe Hillcrest will be going for it here at midfield.
Chris, I think they may have given them a favorable spot
here in Evergreen this evening. So they do. They move him up. He definitely looked a couple yards short. But it's going to be first by the Cottage Hill Christian Academy Warriors after a pickup of about 5.
And, again, just what we talked about in the pregame, J.J. Davis coming up, making that hit. Those safeties are not scared to hit.
Quickly, bad snap to the quarterback. He's scrambling around. He bounces it outside. There's a flag on the play. Looks like he's going to lose yards, and that flag's in the vicinity of a holding on the offense. But let's see from the white cap. Wiggins from his defensive end position makes the tackle. Press Evergreen. And we do accept the penalty. So it's going to be second down and about 15 for the Jaguars with 9:36 to go in the first quarter. Hillcrest with a hard count, and it draws our defensive line offside, so they get 5 of that 10 back on the holding call there, Chad.
Yeah, Chris, that's Josh McCants, 8th grader, absolute stud on the middle of the line there. Got a little bit excited.
Brings up a 2nd down and 10.
Hillcrest in a traditional ace formation, 2-by-2, running back to the right, play action pass, hits the hitch route on the outside, gets it down inside the 10-yard line.
Pass, and the receiver made a good play.
It's going to be a personal foul face mask, half the distance to the goal, and the Jaguars are setting themselves up pretty here. 1st and goal from about the 6-yard line with 9:17 to go in the first quarter. Same formation. Twins to the left, H-back to the left, quarterback play action pass. Tries to hit the lone receiver to the right after the big pickup on last play, and it falls incomplete.
Chris, it looked like they were trying to set a screen up over on the right side. A.J. Green was just all in the quarterback's face. That play was never going to develop.
9:08 to go in the first quarter. I think they're trying to settle in as well as ourselves after the monsoon that came down before kickoff. But same formation, Twins left, H-back to the left, running back to the right, snap to the quarterback's good, handoff on the outside zone, and that is a big-time play right there by J.J. Davis coming downhill at the safety position.
Making that hit behind the line of scrimmage, again, showing that he would probably almost rather play linebacker sometimes.
And this is another penalty on the play, which is going to go against the Jaguars for a holding. And they're going to back them up.
Really tested this year.
Or should I say, Chad, the penalties declined. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line.
In both of our previous games, the defense had a big lead early. This is a good test for us.
Same formation, Twins left, H-back left, running back to the right, quarterback tries a hard count, looks back to the sideline. Plenty of time left on the play clock, 28. And their line back up. Good snap. I see Caden Wiggins there coming up because it's on our sideline here on the left hash.
Yes, sir. And J.J. Davis also, again, stepping up in there, putting his nose in there. You got Shadarius Tootle, Metzner all in there. Guys, great gang tackle there. Warriors.
4th down and goal for the Jaguars on about the 7-yard line. So this started 1st and goal from the 7, and the Warriors have stood strong here. Clock's ticking, 8:08. It looks like Hillcrest is lining up for a field goal. This will be a 25-yarder. 25-yarder as the holder is spotted right there on the 15-yard line. Left hash. This looks like a left-footed kicker as well. 26 on the play clock. The Warriors are in safe defense right here. The snap is low. The holder gets it on the block. The kick is up and barely squeaks through for the Jaguars to get on the board 3-0 with 7:38 to go in the first quarter here in Hillcrest.